Next, we'll talk a little bit about Sanity, and I'll come back a little bit later. We have Nancy Du here, Senior Solution Engineer at Sanity. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Just going to introduce myself again before we get started. My name is Nancy, and I'm a Senior Solutions Engineer at Sanity. What that really means for my role is that I help our enterprise clients understand the value of Sanity during the pre-sales process. This really combines sort of my technical knowledge of the product, Sanity's product, and sort of my expertise in the business domain to really help guide them through the entire buying process. So funny enough, previous to joining Sanity this year, I was actually worked at Rangle for quite a few years and led quite a few of the headless CMS implementations during my time there, and so I'm super excited to be invited back here. Thanks, Jaffrey, for doing that. And I got to work with my favorite person, Natalia, over here. We actually put together quite a few conference talks and workshops back in our time. So if you like our talk here today, you should check out a few. We have them on YouTube. Cool. So just curious, how many people here have heard of Sanity before? Okay, so a few. Anybody have built anything with Sanity? Okay, last so. So hopefully this will be kind of interesting. I won't go into a lengthy introduction because you'll see Sanity in action in just a little bit, but I do want to give a high-level introduction for those of you who've never heard of Sanity before. As you have heard from Natalia's conversation, that Sanity does fall into the category of a headless CMS, or sort of the larger composable landscape. But it's not just a headless CMS, it is one of the best headless CMS. And don't take my word for it. As you can kind of see up here, we got some really impressive stats. And these come straight from the users of our platform. So one of the first one is that we are constantly rated as #1 for satisfaction on G2, which is a review site for business software and services. We're also #1 for developers, rated on Jamstack, #1 CMS most often migrated to for built with. In terms of our customers, we have about 2,000 customers right now. There's quite a lot of well-known brands that you may have heard of: Puma, Skims, Spotify, Sonos, and Figma, just to name a few. And so far we have 500,000 projects built with Sanity. So that ranges from anything like personal projects to full enterprise scale solutions. And as part of you are kind of joining today, 30,000 active members as part of our growing developer community. Taking a closer look at what that means for G2, when we're really looking at the scoring here, you'll see Sanity here in the top right quadrant, and we're consistently ranked as the highest performer in satisfaction and leader in the market compared to our competitors. And we're only really just starting to grow from here. I think to really understand why Sanity is the preferred platforms for so many businesses, it's really important to understand what really wasn't working with existing legacy platforms. Usually these legacy systems pride themselves on sort of the one-size-fit-all solution model. So everything comes out of the box, and it could be really easy to set up, and it should work for everyone. But in reality, what we often see is it tends to be a one-size-fits-none situation. Some of the common issues that we usually see businesses with legacy CMS have is, first of all, slow time to market. So when your platform is a black box, not really built for customization or flexibility, it becomes really difficult for your developers to build any new features, for your content authors to launch new pages associated with campaigns or products. So it's really difficult to work in, and it really slows down your ability to be able to ship. The number two thing is that we often see that content becomes really constrained because the platform is not built for any business's specific needs in mind. The content team needs to really work within the confines of the platform they choose. They're often spending a lot of time on repetitive tasks that they could be probably automating, or they're wasting time finding workarounds for workflows that just isn't tailored to them. So this really takes away from their ability to do any highly impactful work that's creative and kind of forward-thinking. The last one is really around efficient content reuse, and we often hear this kind of described to us as not being able to scale from an omni-channel perspective. So a lot of these legacy systems are built for the purpose, really like a singular purpose. It's really meant to manage content per page for individual sites. This means that you're really not able to have any opportunity to reuse that same content across different pages within the same site, or even reuse that content between multiple different sites you have. And even, again, coming back to this omni-channel conversation, you're really not able to go beyond just your website. So things like your mobile app or a kiosk or an email marketing campaign, you're not really able to reuse that content anywhere else. So this makes content really difficult to manage as an organization scales beyond their initial marketing website. So Sanity really solves these issues with our core products in, oh no, you can't actually see any of the content on here. Oh, okay. Let me just skip.
Oh, it's an animation.
Oh, there's some animation. Sorry, I did not know that. That's a surprise. Okay, so I was like, there's no content on this page. So Sanity really solves these issues with our core product with three aspects of our platform. So the first one is the studio. So this is the visual part that your content author can actually see, and it is fully customizable by a developer to do. And I think what really stands out for Sanity compared to a lot of other headless platforms is that all of this customization is actually done in code. So this really gives developers a lot of control over every little aspect of the platform, so you can tailor it to the specific needs. The studio is actually open source, built in Next.js, and it can either be a standalone or be embedded directly into the front-end application you're building. There's also a choice for you to either self-host the studio or have Sanity host that for you. The next is the content lake. So this is where your content is actually stored. It is cloud hosted. This is the part that Sanity actually manages and maintains. And all of the content is actually stored in JSON format. So it's really easy for storage and retrieval wherever you or however you choose to use it. The last one here is API. So now that we've actually detached our content from our front-end application, content is treated truly as data. So that makes it super important for us to actually be able to retrieve that data in a really easy and flexible manner. Sanity has kind of a few ways to do that. One of it is the classic GraphQL API, but we actually have our own sort of JSON querying language we call GROQ that gives developer even more flexibility and control on exactly the shape of the content that they're trying to retrieve, and it makes it really flexible for you to work with. So no more being limited to the available API routes and doing a ton of data transformation on the front end.
So it's a graph database underneath?
It is not a graph database, but I am happy to answer more questions about that after. Cool, so with all of the customization and flexibility of the platform, we actually see that our clients are able to use Sanity for a wide amount of use cases across content operations, digital media, marketing, e-commerce, and you can kind of see through this list of logos that it's really varies quite a bit across industries and complexity and what they even kind of use data for. So it's pretty exciting. As you can tell, today's talk isn't actually just on Sanity, it's on how you use Sanity to kind of leverage, how you leverage Sanity and Uniform to do personalization. So we're really just scratching the surface on what Sanity can do, but if you're curious and want to learn more, I'm happy to answer any questions after the talk. I actually have quite a few swags with me today, some hats, some t-shirts, some sweaters. So if you want any of that swag, please come find me after the talk. I'll be near the couch in the back to answer any questions. And I also did just want to mention that we actually have a community meetup coming up Monday, June 24th. That's in like a week and a half. And Elaine, do you know, is it going to be in the space?
Very likely, yeah.
Cool. So if you guys are interested to come back for some more pizza and beer, maybe? We're going to have something, some refreshments there, and hear a little bit more from the community on how they're using Sanity and just what are some of the new things coming out for Sanity. Please join us, and there is a QR code if you want to scan that to sign up. Cool. I'm going to hand that, is it to Natalia? Take it away.